What's going on, guys? Cyn for the win here, and welcome back to our Vancouver Canucks Realism franchise mode. And here we are, sitting fifth in the tied actually for fourth in the division with the Oilers. And some of you guys not too happy about the Goldobin trade, or thinking that I shouldn't have made it. Now I'm gonna explain to you the reason that I've done it, and is backed up by hours and hours of testing that I've done on my own time. When a player, it doesn't matter what their potential is. It's happened to me with Nolan frickin' Patrick and a few other people. If their salary does that thing where it doesn't rise up when you try to crank up the years, and they didn't grow after a tremendous season like that, they're pretty much busted. Yes, he's decent at production, but he's a one-dimensional player, and that's the reason I didn't keep him. I maybe should have explained it a bit better, but Goldobin's a completely one-dimensional player. His defensive skills are bad, and if he's stunted at 82, sure, you get production out of him, but he doesn't help the team as a whole. Production is not the number one thing you want to look at when you're building a team, man. You gotta look at every line's gotta have a decent amount of defense. And anyway, so that was my reasoning behind that. I have nothing, and what am I trying to say? And someone was saying that he always gets up to 89. That is completely not the case. I've seen him get up past 89. I've seen him get up lower. I've run, oh man, so many GM modes, man. Like, I've actually done a lot of testing. I'll probably make some kind of a video about prospect growth at some point, just because I've got a lot of it down relatively to almost a science in certain situations. And I think there's some things that aren't even in the, like, we don't know about in this game, that are hidden things that I have theories on, but are hard to prove. Like, the reason why sometimes these yellow top nines get really good is because certain players bust. For whatever reason, someone's got to step up and fill that place. There has to be a certain amount of skill, and I think there's some, I don't know, it's hard to explain. And I'm sound like a mad scientist at this point, but there has to be a certain amount of superstars. There has to be a certain amount of every type of player to make it so it's balanced. And there's a whole crazy algorithm that it's going to be hard. By the time I get it decoded, it'll be time for NHL 18. It'll be altered slightly. So I don't even bother. What I try to do is just focus on the growth. So I'm going to actually kind of show you guys my why I traded him, basically. The jump was the biggest issue. Now Besser, I guess is his name, Besser, sorry. He jumped in his overall, and his role changed. And that's why I decided to keep him, and he's a bit younger. The time when players are pretty much guaranteed to be busts are around 22, 23. And that's if they haven't really started growing and jumping up in their roles, then you just get rid of them. 9 times out of 10, they're done. And sometimes if they get traded, sometimes they can start jumping up again. But I will guarantee you that they won't jump up on your team. And that sounds like a cop-out, but it's actually not. Just check out Veleno in Montreal. All right, we picked him up when he was still relatively young, like 21, and everyone's saying, oh, this guy doesn't get good, and it looked like he was being stunted. The guy's a 94. There's a lot of factors that go into prospect growth, and that also could have been not anything to do with him being traded. But I've noticed that sometimes, like, I've done a few tests with Sergachev, the Red Elite, and I've kept him at a Red Elite because of that. I've done several tests on Montreal, never really been able to get him good. I've done several tests on different teams, including the Detroit franchise mode, where I've traded for him, and he got good. So sometimes the trading will kick in something. And there's got to be something. It cannot just be coincidence after times it's happened. Like, let's say I've run about 10 tests for each side on that one. 8 times out of 10 on Montreal, Sergachev never grew above like a top 6 role. The times I traded for him, I would say about 7 out of 10 times he's become at least a top 4. And about 4 times he's become 90 plus, including the Detroit franchise mode. So there's a lot of things that go into prospect growth, and I'm trying to keep it short here, but I wanted to kind of explain my logic and what I found out from franchise modes and things like that. So the best thing to do is when you find a player like that, trade him immediately. If his salary's not changing over those years when you try to crank that up, if he didn't jump, and if his role hasn't changed in the slightest, trade him, especially if he's can't play somewhere else. Goldobin, he's a one-dimensional player, so that's why I traded him. Had he been someone who could play on the third line with decent defensive stats, like, say, Lehkonen in our Montreal playthrough, we kept him for a while, then I would have totally done that. but he is a one-dimensional player, and he's sort of like that in real life. Yeah, he produces well, but I'm not looking just for production. I'm looking for a guy who can produce, but also is balanced. Horvat, for example, defensive stats are balanced enough. Baertschi, not the strongest, but they're a lot better. Goldobin was like 81, 82 awareness and stuff like that, and he wasn't going to grow. So those weren't going to get better. All right, and so that was my logic behind that. Anyway, I want to get into the simming here. Yeah, we'll get back into that. So I do appreciate all you guys' feedback because, like I said, it always makes me second guess things, and that's part of the reason I've done all these tests is because I wanted to find out, can players like jump out of that doom when you see their salary not changing and they're not growing over the year and then their role not changing. It's very rare. And usually the only time they will jump out of that is if they get traded somewhere. I've only had one occasion where the guy has decided to grow after another couple years just out of nowhere. And it's so rare that I don't think it was worth it in this one. And the trade did make sense from a realism standpoint because of our requirement of Brown, other guys that we have to fill that role, and yeah, Besser, things like that. So that's where I'm going with. And honestly, it makes sense that Goldobin would get traded from a team that's lacking some defense as well, which we kind of are. All right, anyway. Now that we're done with that, I kind of wanted to touch on that and let you guys know. Yeah, I know it's been hard for me kind of recently to respond to some of the comments. I've been actually extremely busy, so I did want to let you guys know I have been reading them. I'm not ignoring you at all. That's just was my logic behind that. Anyway, we're going to continue simming here 1 month at a time. Keep an eye on everything and make sure everything's going smoothly. And we'll see if we can maybe make the playoffs this year. It's going to be close. It's not a big deal if we miss them. But it would be cool. It'd be kind of cool to see us make the playoffs, you know? So we'll see. We got a W right there. The record is improving. We could snag up that last seed. That'd be kind of cool. Looks like we're in a bit of a tight division, at least in the at the edge of it. So we'll see. It'll be a close race, I think, between us and Edmonton for most of the year. But it looks like we're stringing together a few wins here, so that's always good news. And winning records are a tad bit better for prospect growth as well. It's not, again, that's definitely not an end-all, be-all, but a lot of the times, your guys will seem to grow better if they're having good years. Not so much if your team's doing well, but, of course, if your team's doing well, that definitely helps. More morale boost seems to give guys more room to grow. Or at least, if they get morale boost, they become better, they have better years, more chance that they grow. You throw that into the tumbler of algorithms, and it can only be good news on the end of things. So holy crap, we're on a nice little streak here. I'm liking that. I'm just kind of prattling away here. Okay, yep, let's go here. Still checking out forwards. We're pretty set for defensemen for a while, so that's why I'm mainly checking out forwards. You know, you can never have too many good forward prospects. You always need depth guys. You always need to keep young guys flowing through. But Jesus, look at this record. Man, 19, 12, and 2. It's interesting. I was not expecting that. I was kind of expecting us to hover around that sort of 500 mark. But that little stretch right there has started to boost us up, and it looks like we're continuing this. So, and we lose right there to a divisional team, but we get a point out of them. They don't want to be giving us points. Anaheim's a good team. We lose to them. Okay, so it seems like we're beating some teams that we should beat, losing to some other teams that we should lose to, basically. I mean, when you check out some of the teams we're beating, they don't have the greatest records. Winnipeg, that was a good one. You know, that's a strong victory. But, yeah, some of these games, we're still not that... No, well, obviously, we're not even close to that elite, like, sort of dominant team. But here we are. Actually have third in the division with a 6-point lead. Pretty damn good. Only 1 point behind Anaheim. And, yeah, that's pretty solid. In the category of things I didn't think I would be seeing in this video, it's that. I thought we were going to be vying for a wild card spot, and Baertschi jumped up to a fucking 90. Epic. Might be a bit of morale, but we'll see. All right, let's see. I'm going to actually check out the team stats as well. Okay, I'm actually on Vancouver this time and not Edmonton. Good. Yeah, we scored a lot in that stretch. Offense was really getting it done, 3.42, but we're allowing a lot of goals. That makes sense. Young defensive core, not the greatest goalies. I'm not too fussed with that. Power play percentage, still been hovering around that like 20% mark. Maybe it dropped a bit, I think. Penalty kill looks like it increased slightly, or was it 83? I don't know. I'm judging by where the other teams are in the division, and we're sitting at a comfortable second. kind of tied with half these other guys, to be honest. But if you look at the teams we're tied with, good teams, LA, Anaheim, so that's good news. Alrighty, yeah, there are home records, 7-9-0. We're not great on home ice, but we're good away, which is interesting. I've always found that younger teams are better on home ice and worse away, and then when you start getting those elite older teams, they start being better on the road. Interesting, though. 7-2-1 in our last 10. Yeah, definitely on a really good stretch here. Alright, and Barici is killing it in the point totals. Come on. Why can't I move this? Oh, there we go. Alright, so that was weird. Oh my god, yeah, he's got 43 points in 36 games played. Horvat, also a point a game player. They're killing it together, and that's great news. And man, if Barici keeps growing, I wouldn't even mind. Get better, man. Alright, yeah, so 38 points. Sutter with 30, so he's doing pretty good. Virtanen, 25. That's not too bad. Oh, he jumped up to an 85 as well. So, again, could be a bit of morale. It might be a bit of morale mostly, but like I said, that gives them more chance to succeed, more chance to perhaps break out of that potential and grow. Erickson, I don't care. Besser, 18 points. He's a -5. He's playing in his role though. All right, and he's not doing bad. 10 goals. He's easily on pace for a 20-goal season. So good. I want to see 20 goals out of him on that third line. All right, there's Granlund. Gauntz jumped up to an 81. Again, could be some morale here. Definitely, probably morale. But with that red potential, that's what you kind of want. And his defensive stats, that's good. So, yeah, I want him definitely to grow. I want to get Gauntz to about... I'd be happy with him at like an 82 with a defensive awareness so around like 85. Same with his shot blocking, stick checking. That would be... I'd consider that a success for Gauntz with the red top 9 and where he started with us. Yeah, Dorsett, Cramarosa, still at a 79. Not looking like that guy's going to turn out to be anything, so we'll need to replace him eventually. But that'll happen. Oh, fucking A, Logan. Oh, my God. -15. That's what I saw. Not too many points and a -15. But I'm like I said, I don't care if this guy stunts. He's got really good defensive stats. And this guy, once we have a really good third line, that's where he'll succeed the most. But yeah, his plus-minus is not the greatest. I don't really care. The second line, we have no one on there who really matters. Like, I mean, who's really growing. That sounds horrible to say, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? All right, Hutton, 28 points. Ulevi, 26. Still at 87, but he still could jump. All right, Stetcher, still at 84, but that's all right. He's producing relatively well. He's good with defense, so I wouldn't mind if he stuck around in 84. Tramkin, 83. Again, I wouldn't mind if he stuck around that. He's good defensively, and they're all plus players. Good. Branson, really good season for him in the plus-minus category. +15. He's not a point producer. And then Larson doing a good job spot filling for us. And that's definitely some morale boost. Him up to me an 81. Okay, Markstrom. Not great. Demko, okay, he's still at an 83. So I just want to make sure. I like the split that they're doing, actually. It's not like Demko's getting a huge amount of games, but I think he's getting enough. I definitely think he's getting enough as a backup. And his stats, his goals against isn't great, but his save percentage is pretty good. And you know what? He's on pace. He's gotten me an extra 15 points in 13 games played. He's ahead of schedule. So that's good for him. And he's got a shutout. He's the only goalie that we have with a shutout. All right. And I think that's pretty much it. Okay, now we're going to keep going. Actually, no. I want to keep an eye on the AHL as well. So Castles still listed to be minor score. I'm going to keep him there. He's leading the team in points. Point-a-game player. I like it. Fromm, are you jumping up? Not quite. But you're still doing well. Harkins... Was he a 76 or was that Videmo? Actually, they're both 78s now, so one of them jumped. All right, cool. All right, now there's one more. Was it Tulola? Ooh, not too great. Yeah, not doing too great there. Second line seems to be struggling, or at least he's just not scoring. Which is interesting, because his awareness, he should be getting a bit more. I might check on that. I don't want that guy. I mean, I did sign him, so it's not a huge deal. Liljegren... 74. I think it was a 73 to start off, so okay. Alrighty, and goaltender situation. Vavalainen, I think that's a lot of morale there, jumping up to there. Yeah, jumped up to an 81, and then this guy, 78. Was he already 78? I think he was 77. I don't know. Well, he's maybe getting better. Who knows? Anyway, they're both killing it. Utica should be having a relatively good season. Yeah, I'm a little. I want to get, what's his name, producing more, though. I want to get Tulola producing a bit more there on the AHL. So I'm actually going to see what I can do there. Because I'm not too sure. Maybe it's that line he's on that's not quite getting it done. So we'll see if I can help improve that. All right. AHL here. There you go. Vademo, Harkins. Why? Oh, they're actually not producing. Okay, I see. Because he's not a goal scorer. That makes a bit of sense. Okay. But the problem is, I can move Roden down, and that would fix everyone up. Yeah, it would be hard at 3 two-way forwards, but these guys are producing pretty well. Oh, they wouldn't have a goal scorer. Again, yeah, they need a goal scorer. So, yeah, oh, man. Tulola. Almost seeming like an odd man out here, but I did sign you for pretty much nothing. And you're not... if I put Skilly up there, those two guys would start to kill it. I'm actually going to do that. I know I want Tulola to grow, but he's 20. He has another year. I think he should do just fine down here on the third line. I'll put him these two guys. He's still got a sniper down there, so maybe he could pass to that guy a bit. I want Harkins and Vademo. I want to maybe capitalize on this growth. It's doubtful that they become scorers in the NHL, but we'll see. And we could just maybe improve this team a bit. So, actually, if that's the case, I could move one of them off and actually just keep Tulola up there. Just so we could pass over. If I want to bank more on that guy, then I might do that. Harkins is younger, so I should keep him up there. Probably. Alright, I'll do that real quick. Let's move him down. He's a power forward. This guy righty. No, they're all lefties right now. But I'd rather play him in the center. So there we go. Alright, we'll try that out. We'll try that out. We'll see what happens. I'm not too sure. I want that second line to start clicking more. They didn't have a scorer on that line. That makes sense. Tulola didn't seem like a scorer, and he obviously wasn't getting it done. So if we put Skilly up there and to move Tulola over, there's still kind of like two playmakers there because Tulola has the good passing and offensive awareness for an AHLer. And then they'll be able to feed Skilly. And then Vademo can still be busting out with that third line there. All right, let's keep simming here. Because Utica, actually, yeah, the record dropped slightly, so that's not great. I think it's their second line that was kind of hurting them. Their second line was doing pretty bad there. So we'll see if we can help improve them at all. And as well, I'm mostly paying attention to Vancouver. That's why I didn't really notice it. But yeah, we're still hanging in there. 21, 14, and 4. I think we're almost getting towards we're a real deal now. Utica, stop shitting the bed. Let's go. Come on now. There you go. Get some wins. Anyway, all right. Can we beat Chicago? No, we lose to them. Can't get a point out of that game. Bit unfortunate, but it's looking more and more like we're going to be a playoff team. Maybe a first-round exit playoff team, but a playoff team nonetheless. If we keep winning, though, we're back to a little bit of win-loss here. So we'll see. There's a nice shutout against a divisional team in Anaheim. I like it. Philly, how you doing? Are you actually doing good? Okay, Philly's doing good. Ooh, big loss right there to Philly. Pittsburgh, of course, they're still doing good. Can we... Oh, two big losses there. And we come away with a win against New York. All right. Yeah, a couple big losses there in the East to top-tier teams. And, yeah, that's the big issue. That's why I think the playoffs, even if we make it, it's going to be a long stretch for us to go far. Because when we go up against those elite teams, they expose us. We could beat the teams that are kind of even with us, teams that are worse than us. But when we go up against those elite teams, man... Yeah, they kind of just raffle stomp us. Locker room chemistry, though, 87%. That's good news. We're actually in second. We pulled ahead of Anaheim. That's pretty impressive. 5 points ahead of the wild card slot team and 9 points ahead of being out of a playoff spot, essentially. Potentially maybe only 6 points, but, you know. Only 2 points ahead of Anaheim, so we'd have to keep that up. Any bad stretch right there, it could all go away. All right, so let's, again, check everything. I do want to check out the team stats now that we're starting to click and looking like more of a... Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm glad we're getting the offense because the goaltending certainly is not there. But a lot of offense. Second in our division in scoring. So pretty strong. Power play, it's hovering around there, near that 20% area. Penalty kill, best in the division now, so good job. Home record 12-12, and then away record 16-6-4. Last 10 6-4-0. So continuing our pretty good stretches, and Bo Horvat now took over in goal scoring. Or point scoring. Yeah, ooh, yeah, Berchi really sort of ground to a halt there, and he's not actually getting a lot more goals. What the hell? Well, his passing and offensive awareness are actually out of this world. So, wow. Holy crap, Hutton. I'm just looking at how many assists he has. Anyway, Vertanen looks like he's sort of the goal scorer. No one's really the goal scorer on that line. It's pretty interesting. They kind of spread the love, and then these guys get a lot of assists. I bet they're getting some... Oh, a lot of those are coming on the power play, yeah. Okay, cool. I'm actually okay with that. Anyway, they're both point-of-game players. Sutter doing pretty well, and he'll probably be a third-line center for us for a few years, definitely as we make our first playoff runs. Virtanen, yeah. I like it. Almost 20 goals. He could actually get 30 goals, and that would help him grow. There's Eriksson, no Kerr. There's Besser, jumped up to an 84, still listed to be at third line. That might be mostly morale, but could be a bit of growth as well. Minus 11, not great, but whatever. 12 goals. He's definitely going to hit the 20-goal mark. I don't think there's any way he misses that. Granlund, Gauntz, still listed at... does he jump up 84? Yeah. Still 81 for Gauntz. Reed Boucher... 83. I think he's on the second line. Yeah, second line's all over the place. Anyway, there's Cramarosa. Jumped up to an 80. Mostly morale, I'm thinking. Yeah, looking like it. Dorsett, and then Logan Brown. Still being a Logan Brown. All right, there's Hutton. Jumped up to an 89. Probably a bit of morale, but we'll see the natural growth after the season and stuff like that. Yoel Levy, 87. He should still get a decent jump. Okay. And Goodbranson looks like he finished growing and is sitting at an 87. So I'm holding on to Goodbranson, definitely. He's a solid defensive defenseman, could sit in that top four for his career. I don't care if he jumps in between 86 and 87. He's solid for us. There's Trampkin, then there's Larson. All right, goaltender situation. Markstrom finally got a shutout. And Demko's stats are really improving. Yup, he's looking good. If he keeps playing like this and getting the amount of games he does, I think if he's on pace for close to high 20s games played, I would say. You get into the high 20s, mid to high 20s games played, which is still good. That's still within the realm of being a backup, and with the season that he's having and the experience he's getting, he should get a solid jump. He should be our starter by next year. He really should be. All right, so I also want to check AHL, see if anyone's starting to improve. Skilly's still killing it. Tololo, you've been getting more points. I don't know. Can't really tell. Videmo, Harkins, they look like they've actually jumped up a bit. Harkins especially. They've, interestingly enough, Harkins dropped down in overall. Videmo dropped up, being moved down. That's kind of weird. Whatever. That's very interesting. I don't really care. I'll take it. I'll keep playing him wherever he is. Or maybe switch him with Harkins since Harkins kind of dropped. But Harkins is getting the points. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. Whatever. That's pretty much all the main guys there. Malcolm Subban. Where's Liljegren? Yeah, still at 74. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Goaltender situation. All right. They're still hanging in there with the same overalls. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are they all... What? That's a little weird. They're really good goaltenders, but they're playing like absolute shit. What? Okay. Our defensive core is not horrible. It's really, but all of them are freaking minuses. I guess it is kind of bad. I guess we need more defense in there or something like that. Yeah, I guess some of them, yeah, it looks like our defensive core and other things are struggling here. Interesting. May want to move Liljegren off that top pairing then. Or maybe I'll just leave him there. Screw it. I want to get him better. He's still only 19. He'll be fine. All right. So yeah, it takes care of that. Keeps him in here. I'm keeping a close eye on everything though. Any type of growth, need to capitalize on it quickly. All right. Okay. Now we're gonna pass the. Oh, we already passed the All-Star break. Now we're gonna get up to the deadline, and then we'll kind of see if we want to make any trades. I don't really think we're a type of team to go after a rental player. I mean, we could. I don't know. It would move someone out of a role, basically. And I'm not extremely comfortable with that. All right. Let's edit scouting here. Okay. 16 guys there. Could probably get away with 5 weeks, so I'll do that. Let's do 5 weeks there. Big win against Columbus. 30 wins before the deadline. Yeah, good stuff, man. Or well before the deadline. If we won't get to 40 wins unless, no, we won't. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we couldn't have done it anyway because I'm stopping right before it. But let's give me to 35 wins, and I don't want to see no more than 22 regulation losses in this stretch right here. Let's do that for me, Vancouver, and I'll call that pretty successful. Don't start sucking right now. Beat the Oilers. Force them down further into the division. Yeah, baby. All right, we give them a point. I don't care. They can take a point. They could take a point along with the L that we've handed them. All right, Ottawa, bad team. We got to beat these teams that we're supposed to beat. There we go. All right, Calgary, force them down. Force them down. Come on. Oh, all right, they beat us in regulation. Okay, so come on, no more regulation losses. We can only have one more. Okay, there it is. Now you guys got to win 3 games. Better win 3 games and only lose in overtime. Sons of bitches, there you go. Oh, come on now. Calgary, beat them. Get some revenge. Get some revenge on Calgary. There you go. All right, we're probably going to lose to LA, but get a point out of them at least. Oh, fuck, we lost them both. Okay, so they didn't quite get 35 wins, and they went over 22 regulation losses, but those 2 teams that we just faced, there's a few teams in there that we face that are good, but see what I mean? We kind of are losing to the teams that are good, and then stealing wins from the teams who are not so good. Alrighty, 34, 24, and 4, though. So that's good. So right now, we're kind of a middle-of-the-pack team, is the way I look at it. We're second in our division, but it's not by a whole lot. I'd still consider us a middle-of-the-pack because at this point in the season, look at this division. This is a pretty shit division, to be honest. If you compare, I'm sure if you compare them to the other ones, it'd be pretty bad, which I will actually do. I'll compare them to the other ones here. Wow, Horvat, 64 points, killing it. Alrighty, here we are. Still scoring a lot, but still allowing a lot of goals. That's alright. At least we got the offense figured out. Defense will come. Alrighty. Ooh, power play's dropping a bit. Penalty kills, staying steady. Home record improved. 16, 12, and 0. We've won all 4 home games since we last checked, so that's good. Away, though, yeah, we've lost a few on the road. 18, 12, and 4. When it gets down to crunch time, everyone starts playing better on home ice. Yeah, we can't as easily steal those games. Yeah, last 10, 4, 6, and 0, so not the greatest stretch, but that's alright. Alright, anyway. So, yeah, 87 points, 72 points. Those are the best in our division here, basically. Everyone else is not looking great. Oh, yeah, I'm pressing the wrong button. So if you look at... Oh, what the hell? Central's actually pretty freaking weak, too. Interesting. Atlantic, they're actually decent. And the Met is probably the best. Yeah, Met, I would say, is the strongest overall division. Just looking at those top 4 guys. Oh, I'm actually surprised. I thought our division seemed a lot weaker than it was. But hey, I guess it's just because LA put such a freaking gap between us and them. I guess we're not so much of a middle-of-the-pack team as I thought. I mean, a lot can still happen. Yeah, actually, yeah, we're still a middle-of-the-pack team. Like, look, yeah, we're still a middle-of-the-pack team for sure. All right, so we're definitely not like a guaranteed contender every year. Right now, we're kind of that middle-of-the-pack, kind of vying for a playoff spot. We could still lose it at any point. Anaheim and Sharks are only 3 points behind us. Anaheim has a game in hand. Anything can change. Anything can happen still. So we got to keep playing good if we want that playoff position. All right, did I just see Horvat as a 90, by the way? Or did I missee that? Yes, I did. All right, Horvat's a 90 and 64 points, 20-game player. Berchi, 63 points, 20 goal scorer. Yeah, I like it. Hutton, yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. I need to just check forwards first. There's Sutter. Decent year from Sutter, helping to spot fill. Virtanen, yeah, got up to that 20-goal mark. 30 goals, bit of a stretch. He needs 9 more in 20 games. It's not impossible, but at the pace he's going, he probably won't reach it. He needs a really good stretch right here. All right, and he might get it. He might get it. His shot's decent enough. Anyway, how's his defensive stay? His defensive stats are staying where they are, so we need to turn this guy into a scorer if he's going to be anything on this team for sure. There's Eriksson, no one Kerr. There's Besser, 30 points. He's actually 7 goals in 20 games. You got to step it up, Besser. I want you to hit that 20-goal mark, man. There's Reed Boucher. Granlund, Gaunt, still at 81. Cramarosa, and yeah, Logan Brown, still trash. Alrighty. Alright, so defenseman now? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Alright, there's Hutton killing it, man. 60, wow, holy crap. Oh, I didn't even realize the pace he was on. Wow. Yeah, that's an incredible pace. Hutton. Wow. Okay. That's a lot better than I thought it would be. All right, Yule Levy, 87. All right, Stetchard next. Good Branson. Yeah, but Yule Levy, man, is getting some goals. 13. I like that. He's got a pretty decent shot then. Oh, a really hard shot, so he's just blasting them, getting lucky. And but he does have good awareness. Passing, not so much. Not as good of a puck mover as Hutton is, but he has his place. Alrighty. Okay. Yeah, okay. Larson's the only minus. It's a bit weird because he's like a -7. All right, goaltender. Markstrom still at the 89 or 85. Demko still at the 83. His personal stats dropping a bit, but he's still hanging in there with the good amount of points. And his personal stats are they're still better than Markstrom, so whatever. I don't care. He's still having a good year. All right, everything's going according to plan. And no real big growth besides from our top liners, which is good news for us. All right, Castle's still listed to be minor scorer. I'll keep him there. He should get a pretty good jump after this year. And I like his defensive stats as well. He should get a good jump. His offensive stats aren't the greatest, which is fine because I want to train this guy up to be more of a third liner anyway. All right, there's Fromm still at a 76. Roden, you're just helping him out. Helping out the team down there. Skilly, Harkins. I feel like this team's not doing too good right now. All right, Harkins jumped back up. That's good. And Vademo's still at 79. So cool. All right, yeah, a bit interesting. Talola still hanging out there at the 76. Yeah, okay. I already checked that defenseman, but I want to see where Liljegren is. His plus-minus is improving. Still at the 74, though. All right, goaltenders. Still at their overalls, I bet. And they're still actually not playing that great. Vavalainen's getting better. But, yeah. Neither of them playing extremely well. But this team is kind of... I thought they would be slightly better, but they're still kind of with some of these guys there that are not that incredible. So if you look at their record, yeah, they're borderline extreme. Oh man, the way they're going, they won't make the playoffs yet again, which is a bit unfortunate. Like, look at their goaltender and their defense. I don't know. I feel like they should be keeping the puck out of the net a hell of a lot more than they are, but what can you do? All right, so here we are at the deadline. We're going to take a look at the line, see if there's any holes we want to fill. I'm thinking we should just kind of go into the playoffs and see what happens. All right, our second line, yeah, you could argue that we should probably get a little something there on the second line. But again, it's actually hilarious that Sutter is scoring. So it's probably a lot from the power play. Like, he's probably got a shit ton of power play points because he's playing with two pluggers in the 5-on-5 pretty much. We got Logan Brown just because we want Eriksson to baby Besser. And, oh yeah, poor Sutter. Whatever, he's a good sport. He's got to get used to playing with plugs like these. He'll probably be on the third line with Logan Brown. All right. Yeah, so rental I don't think is extremely necessary. We're going to basically be like, hey, first line, carry us. Try to get us some wins here in the playoffs. And, yeah, other than that, though, we're not a team to go after a rental. I think we just kind of get our guys some experience, mostly our defensive core, and see what else happens there. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And if Markstrom starts having some bad times, we'll throw in Demko. We will not hesitate to throw in Thatcher Demko. We'll see how he does. See if he can step up. All right, so here we are at the deadline. I don't know if we want to make any trades. Maybe you guys are seeing something that I'm not. But I'll just go over some of our trading assets as well. Just so we could see what we'd have if we want to make a trade. But if we are going to make the playoffs, rentals always kind of make sense. But I don't think we're that kind of team. I really don't. I mean, if we're going to make a trade, we make a trade for someone who not only helps us for the playoffs, but helps us for the future. So we're going to look at our assets that we have in this next draft, which is a first, a second, and 2/3. And then the year after that, we have a first and 2 seconds. And that's kind of it for a heavy, heavy draft in years. This year still won't be that heavy of a draft. The year after that, I would rather... Yeah, I would rather get lucky with like a good pick in this year, but it's probably not going to happen. If we start making the playoffs now, that pick will be worth less. We'd have to like try to get someone else's pick, which wouldn't be horrible, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to make trades like that at this juncture. So we still have some decent picks here. Other than that, though, we could trade some picks for some guys, but like I said, I don't think we're a type of team to go after rentals yet. If we make the playoffs with this lineup, we make the playoffs, and that's good news for us. All right, yeah, he's sure. You guys are saying his potential or trade value is dropping, and just say to try to grow him more. Well, he's still in the juniors, so it's all right. He's still playing in the juniors, so it's all good. I know he's 20 now, but he wasn't eligible. And plus, I wouldn't want to play him at 69 in the AHL anyway. So he'll get a decent jump. He'll play in the AHL next year, and hopefully he does relatively well. But, yep, you cannot, in my experience, you can't just throw guys in the NHL, especially yellow guys, and just expect them to succeed and go crazy. This Rasmussen guy, his trade value is low because of that the red. But 77 and 19 next year, he's going to be a solid AHL, or maybe even just make the jump straight to the NHL. I don't know. His offensive stats aren't the greatest. His defensive stats are not the greatest either. I think his skating boosts him up a lot, and his shot power does a lot too. But hey, again, he can still be good. You don't know. Alrighty, Logan Brown's actually got some decent trade values for what he is. That's actually kind of funny. Anyway, yep, that pretty much wraps it up. You guys can let me know if you guys want to see a trade. I don't really think it's necessary, and I can't really think of anything else that we really need right now, unless we want to package a few picks in for some prospects or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, you guys let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next one.